guys, it's your boy, Barca Boy 103. Today we're going to be doing the match analysis from the match yesterday between Barbastro and Barcelona in the Copa del Rey, where of course we did walk away with a big 4-0 victory to start off 2025. We're going to be discussing the performance in depth, the team's performance, and the players' individual performances, and also discuss what Flick talked about after the game as well. All this, of course, coinciding with 5 things that we did learn from this game. But before we get into it, make sure you guys smash that like button down below. Let's try and get to 200 likes on this video. It would be very much appreciated. And also, if you are new, make sure you subscribe down below if you haven't already, and let's get into it. Now, the first thing that we learned from this game is how well Barcelona play as a unit compared to when we rely a lot on individual talent. You can see here on the screen the super score rating for Barcelona in this match, with again the average being the 7 out of 10, coinciding of course with the level of the opponent that we were playing in this game, with Pablo Torre of course getting man of the match alongside strong performances from Araujo, Gerard, and even Eric Garcia, and surprisingly as well Fermin Lopez at the high rating, even though a lot of people were saying that he wasn't up to scratch in the final third. Now, if you see on the screen here is the as positioning of the players. Left hand side is the starting 11, right hand side is with the substitution. You can see on the left hand side very much what we expected is Eric Garcia playing more so as a single pivot, Frankie Young in front of him, with Torre and Fermin Lopez playing out wide. But yet again, the team very narrow. There's really no width, and that's what we struggled a lot with in this game to of course be better and more proactive in the final third. Right hand side where the substitution came in, of course with no striker, we had nothing going down the middle. I believe Fermin Lopez was kind of playing as that false 9, so to speak. So it shows again the lack of not depth that we have, but options we do have up front. You can see that Garcia as well when he came in, how deep he was, which shows how much we were kind of defending during those final few minutes. Now, some of the stats from this match: Barcelona did have 75% of the possession, 6 big chances created, 19 shots, 1 goalkeeper save, 8 corner kicks, 7 fouls, 659 passes, 16 tackles, and 16 free kicks, with 1 yellow card going the way of Lewandowski. Could have been a red card though, he did dodge that a little bit. 19 shots in total. Of course, you can see the shot map in the middle of the screen there, with 9 shots being on target, 5 shots off target, and 5 shots blocked, with 16 coming inside the box and 3 coming outside the box. You can see on the right hand side as well the heat concentration of where the majority of Barcelona's time was spent. A lot of it mainly down the left hand side and also in the middle of the park. We of course created 3 big chances in this game. We also missed those 3 big chances, which again is going to be a problem for Barcelona all this season. How are you missing big chances against Barbastro? And it give me confidence so you can go and miss big chances against better teams, your Benfica, Atlanta, Getafe, Valencia, Athletic Club next week in the Super Cup. It's just going to be a massive problem this season. That's why you should have to create more and more. That way those ones that you miss are as minimal as possible. 2 through balls, 42 touches in the penalty area, 3 fouls in the final third, with a total of 3 offsides as well. You can see where the ball was spent: 19% in the Barcelona half, 44% in the middle of the park, and 37% in the half of Barbastro. 585 passes completed of the 656 attempted, 17 throw-ins, 74 final third entries as well, which is around about a 74% success rate as well. We were 61% success rate with our long balls and 41% with our corners. Duels was quite even as well, that the majority of the game was 70% of our tackles being won. So again, it was a dominant performance from Barcelona. There's still some holes that are going to be an issue. You're looking at corners and long balls as well. We already discussed the big chances missed as well, but these things are going to come, of course, with time. It is the first game of the new year against a very weak opponent, but still the holes in the game are clear. But again, you can see how the team relies more so on the system than themselves. They can be, of course, a bit more productive. Now I want to discuss some of the quotes coming in from after the game. We had, of course, the captain Araujo and the coach speak. Szczesny, Pablo Torre spoke a little bit as well, saying that they had a good game, they're excited for the season, and typical scuff. But I do want to cover the captain's post-match not press conference, but post-match quotes. He came out saying, "I'm very happy with the victory and returning to the pitch with the team. It's always difficult to play on these kind of fields." A lot of complaints about the field after the game from a lot of the Barcelona staff and players. The pitch was difficult, but we were fully focused. We played well despite that, and I'm happy for the team and for the full cheerful attitude that we showed. The coach kept asking me if I was feeling okay, and it's important for me to continue gaining minutes. Apparently the plan was for Araujo not to play the whole game, but he ended up playing the whole game because he felt really well, so they kept it going. We knew the break would be beneficial for us, and now we had to keep on working. Whenever I can help the team offensively, I do so, whether by scoring or providing an assist. The team is performing well, and we must keep it going. Then asked on his contract situation, saying that we are in talks with the club, we are negotiating. Will I 100% extend or not? We will see how things turn out. So again, keeping it open, but still highlighting the fact that there are negotiations currently taking place. Of course, his first minutes for Barcelona in about 7-8 months or so, and it was a good display. Again, 90 minutes was not planned for him, but ended up taking place. Now we have the quotes coming in from Hansi Flick, and today was a very important victory. We need to start off the new year like this, coming from where we came from. We are very good in defense as well. It wasn't easy on such a pitch like this. Tony Fernandez is a really big talent. We had no fear with him. It's good to see him back after a long injury. I prefer to play Ansu Fati off the left, though I know he can play as a 9. Of course, that question came about when Ansu Fati came in for Lewandowski. He went on the left with Fermin staying in the middle. And I do agree with Flick. I think Ansu is better off the left-hand side than he is as a number 9. But again, in that kind of circumstance, you want to kind of keep the balance of the team. But he felt like that was the best option. Some positive news, he said that I think that Lamine Yamal will be ready to compete in the Spanish Super Cups. He's on the verge of getting the green light. He has been training the past 2 sessions. He'll definitely be on that plane to Saudi. Whether he'll be fit for the Athletic Club game is still in question. Then asked on Raphinha, who of course was not in the squad list whatsoever, and the Raphinha had some problems. Today he trained, but in the end we decided not to call him up for the match. So he trained, but he had some issues. Maybe there's a slight knock there, maybe a slight overload, and Flick did not want to risk it whatsoever. Hopefully he'll be all right going to Saudi, but again, no confirmation of an injury from anyone else. Asked about Araujo, and Araujo is back from a serious injury now, but we can see his level today. I also was in touch with him during the second half, see if he could continue to play the full 90 minutes. I was keen to follow him. Again, there's a lot of audio of Flick asking Araujo like every second if he's okay. In the end, that's why they decided to risk him for the 90 minutes. Now, the final big point that both the captain and the manager did mention was, of course, the registration of Dani Olmo and Pau Victor. Flick came out saying after the game, I'm confident that the club will resolve the case for the registration of Dani Olmo and Pau Victor. I spoke with Dani Olmo this morning, and he only wants to play for Barcelona, and we will wait for them. Araujo also said on the situation that I hope the club can solve this problem as quickly as possible. It's a bit disappointing, and hope we can have them with us for the Super Cup. So again, a player saying that. We talked about the reports, of course, in my last transfer video about the players emotionally affected by this. It's quite embarrassing, but to hear Araujo say, I can understand his point of view, but it should not be affecting you that much. But again, being disappointed, hoping the club resolve it is all fair in game. So we'll wait and see what happens in that regards, and we'll wait and see, of course, big step now going towards the Super Cup. Now, I do want to discuss some of the individual performances in this game. First, coming in from Gerard Martin, who got a 7.8. So the score rating, you can see from his team map, of course, playing as the left back in this game. Played 90 minutes, had 1 clearance, 2 interceptions, 2 tall tackles. He had the 4 ground duels, completed 3 of them. 4 aerial duels, completed 1 of them. Lost possession 20 times, did not commit a foul, was fouled himself once. 108 touches, 85% pass accuracy, 2 key passes. He had 5 crosses, did not complete a single one of them. He had 7 long balls and completed 4 of them. There's a lot of people saying that, oh, Gerard Martin played well in this game. I do admit that he was at a much better level, but at the end of the day, he is playing Barbastro, which you could say is his level of opponent. The only way you could really judge Gerard Martin is, of course, in the normal games that we play, La Liga, Champions League, maybe the Copa del Rey, as we do advance and teams get more bigger and stronger. But people going on about, oh, Gerard Martin could be maybe a potential solution. I've seen it on online and stuff. I admit he did alright in this game, but nothing to warrant a chance or a rushing conclusion to what his stance is. He is still one of the worst players I've seen in this game. And again, like we mentioned in the stats as well, he had the 5 crosses, did not complete a single one of them. His final entry balls have been the best. I don't know whether you classify Martin as a defensive fullback or an offensive fullback. We heard, of course, that his crossing is very good, and we've seen it as well, of course, in comparison to Alejandro Balde, the actual starting left back, but he's still not going to be pushing a Balde whatsoever. I think Balde on one leg probably still gets in ahead of them. But we'll wait and see. I think if he can prove with these performances and do these in the actual big games, you never know. This could be the all-time remontada. But to judge his performance against Barbastro, to say that he can provide something as much of a competition for Balde is a bit far-fetched. Now, a big positive in this game was, of course, the return of the second captain of Barcelona, Ronald, who did, of course, get a 7.8 score rating. You see from CMAP, of course, playing as the right center back in a back four. In the match, he played 90 minutes, 1 assist, 6 clearances. He had the 1 ground duel, completed it. He had the 3 aerial duels and completed all 3. So 100% duel success rate for Araujo in this game. Lost possession only 6 times. Did not commit a foul. Was fouled himself once. 91 touches, 92% pass accuracy, only misplacing 3 passes. He had 1 key pass. He had to 5 long balls, completed 2 of them, created 1 big chance, 1 shot on target, and 1 shot off target. Again, brilliant, debut for the season, also debut of his return as well. The only issue I had with Araujo is, of course, his passing ability. We've seen him, scuff some of the passes in this game, but again, the stats don't lie. He still completed 73 out of 79, passes, with 92% of it being a success rate. We all know how much of a mountain he is as well. Brilliant defender in the air. Pace is fantastic. Did not commit a foul in this game as well. An elegant, strong leader in the back line. I think the question now is, do you chuck him in for the Super Cup or not? Because I think that is a big headache now for Hansi Flick. I still believe his passing against the better teams in Europe will be a huge disadvantage on our perspective. We of course saw Luis Enrique in the documentary with PSG last season, how he nullified Araujo's passing, and in the end he got a red card as well in that game. We ended up getting knocked out. So all these things are about perspective and different viewpoints, but I still think Araujo will be a huge advantage for Barcelona this season. And again, we'll wait and see how he does in a proper high line as well. Of course, in this game it's Barbastro, you can't really judge it, so I would love to see how Araujo does in the better games. But against Barbastro, he came in easy walk in the park for him, and a stellar performance on his return. Now, a player that did have a low-key good performance in the game yesterday was Eric Garcia in the pivot. Got an 8.0 score rating. Of course, you can see from his heat map, playing in the midfield. In the match, he played 90 minutes, had 1 goal, 78 touches, 91% pass accuracy, only misplacing 6 passes. He had the 2 long balls, completed 1 of them, 1 shot on target, 1 shot off target, had the 4 ground duels, won 3 of them, lost position only 6 times, did not commit a foul, and was fouled himself once, 2 clearances, 1 block shots, 2 interceptions, and 2 tackles as well. Those numbers are big for a pivot. Now, of course, there's a lot of rumors and reports about Girona coming in for Eric Garcia this month in January. I still believe it's best for Barcelona to hold off. I think the price from now in January until the summer won't change at all. And again, he could be a decent little player for Barcelona. Of course, he's not at the Barcelona quality or level whatsoever to maybe have a starting or prominent role in the team, but something like this, in a game like this where you can call upon him, maybe coming off the bench against Atletico Madrid and stuff like that, is where he can really shine in this team. But we can see now that he does have the ability. He is a good player. That's the reason why we signed him from the get-go, poaching him from Man City. He of course came from the academy as well. I think people are a bit rushing conclusions with Eric Garcia, especially with the fact of his defensive capabilities in this game as well. As you can see, 2 clearances, block shot, 2 interceptions, 2 tackles. These are Casado-esque numbers that we see him put up week in, week out, and he's doing it in these kind of games. But we'll wait and see. Again, it's Barbastro. You cannot really predict or conclude too much, but maybe this does put maybe a bit of a span in the works in regards to the offer that's come in from Girona in the past few days. But again, he is a player that can definitely have a good role in this team for this season. It's where his future comes into question, but we know again he can also do this job at a right back, in the pivot, at center back as well. Great little player to have there, and we'll wait and see how much of an effect he does have for the rest of the season. But without a doubt, the best player on the pitch last night was, of course, Pablo Torre. Got a 9.6 score rating. You see him, of course, playing mainly as the right winger or right midfielder in this game for Barcelona. In the match, he did play 81 minutes, had 1 goal, 2 assists, 66 touches, 83% pass accuracy, 6 key passes. He attempted 7 crosses and completed 5, 3 long balls attempted, 3 completed. That is outrageous. 1 big chance created, 1 shot on target. He attempted 8 ground duels and won 3 of them. Was fouled twice, committed 3 fouls himself. Also had 2 interceptions as well. But what you want to see mainly Casado is of those, of course, attacking stats, where he had an absolute stellar performance. And I've been talking about Pablo Torre a lot over the past few months. We saw, of course, his great cameo in the off the bench against what game was it when he scored that he scored twice off the bench in like a minute. I forget what game that was. It was a home game. But since then, we've known the ability of Pablo Torre. That's the reason why we went out and signed him 2 seasons ago from Sporting. but he just never had his chance. And then we've always had these kind of players at Barcelona, a good tight end midfielder that deserves his chance, but never gets it. I think in this game he really made his mark, with of course announced man of the match by the Federation and by the Copa del Rey as well. I think now it's quite clear that Hansi Flick has to give him a good runabout. You know, if he's coming off the bench, especially on the right hand side or in the 10, he can be a fantastic option. I think he's definitely should be ahead of Fermin Lopez now in the pecking order, whether it be off the right or in the middle. I think he's so versatile. You can stick him in anywhere, 8, 10, out wide. And he's just such a tidy player. We've seen his movement, his passing ability in this game was sublime as well. I think he's much better on the ball than the likes of Fermin Lopez, Ferran Torres, because he has that natural ability to himself. Very, very good and sturdy player that definitely deserves an opportunity, and hopefully Flick does give it to him after this brilliant masterclass performance. So that's a match analysis from the match yesterday between Barbastro and Barcelona in the Copa del Rey. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, of course, make sure you drop a like down below, and of course in the comments down below as well, let me know your thoughts on everything we did discuss, mainly of course on the 5 points that I did mention. And also what I really want to know is your thoughts on the Pablo Torre performance. You think he's done enough to make a mainstay in the starting lineup, or at least have more opportunities off the bench? And would you give him those opportunities or not? And of course, make sure you guys subscribe down below if you haven't already, and I will see you guys next time on the channel. Take care, and Forza Barca.
Barcelona!